Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Randi Thompson, sitting in for the vacationing Sam Shad. Today we're going to talk about the trade show industry, its impact in Nevada, with Alice Heiman, the founder of Trade Show Makeover. All coming up on the new Nevada Newsmakers.
Hello, is this D&D Roofing?
Yes, it is. How may I help you?
You did such a great job on my roof. May I speak to the owner?
I am an owner.
Oh, can I speak to your supervisor?
Sure.
How may I help you?
I love your work. May I speak to the owner?
I am an owner. We're all owners. Well, that's why at D&D we work so hard to keep your home safe and sound.
Oh, no wonder.
D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal. Local, employee-owned, here for you.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Truck drivers are some of the hardest working people you'll meet, delivering over 70% of America's freight and 92% of Nevada's. When there's a natural disaster, they're delivering critical supplies to help those communities recover and rebuild. Every sector of the economy and our nation's military rely on truck drivers. So let's take a moment to say thank you. On the open road or city streets, our truck drivers are rolling to make our economy and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And we're back on Nevada Newsmakers with a newbie to Nevada Newsmakers, Alice Heiman, the founder of Alice Heiman LLC, but also you've created a trade show company, and I'm interested in having you on today to talk about trade shows because they're canceled around the world, and in Las Vegas specifically, it's about a $60 billion industry. So it's huge. Reno as well, all of the conventions, as well as all the fun stuff. The air races and the balloon races are all canceled. So tell us a little bit about the trade show industry as a whole and kind of what your company does.
Yeah, so thanks for having me on the show. I'm excited to be here, and I think this is a really important topic, especially for Nevada, because we do get so much of our revenue from the Las Vegas shows that happen. There's a myriad of events and trade shows and conferences that go on in our state, of course here in Reno as well. Globally, the trade show industry, conferences and trade shows, is $2.5 trillion. Wow. I don't think that people realize the impact of, how big this industry is. And so with my business, most of my clients who are smaller companies under $100 million who are selling business to business, and they sell very complex things, software, medical devices, technology, they depend on trade shows to get the leads that their salespeople need to close business. So the whole trade show industry itself is, having a terrible impact because of all of the employees that aren't working and, everything is shut down. It's creating a terrible impact on them. But then there's a peripheral impact that people don't recognize is that all of these companies, large and small, go to these huge trade shows for the purpose of networking and meeting their customers and be able to make a sale.
And you can't really do that virtually because it's so much, people are just walking by your booth and you grab and you start having a conversation. You can't really randomly cold call on a virtual Zoom call.
Well, it's really interesting, Randi, because now every company is scrambling to figure out how they're going to meet the customers that they need to meet, right? How are they going to get enough leads to their salespeople? Now, there's all the traditional methods, which I work with companies on, like emailing people to try to get a response. And we all know how much everyone loves email. So it doesn't work very well, and you have to send out thousands to get very few responses. Although people still do it, and it is effective, it's not as effective as when I get to meet you. Right? So people are doing that.
And you get to show the actual product. I get to touch it, I get to feel it, I get to watch it.
In an email, you're not seeing, I mean, maybe I can attach a video, or I can attach some kind of a PDF or something, but it's not quite the same, and it's not personal, and if you don't know me, you're probably going to ignore my email. Versus if I see you at an event and I meet you and I shake your hand, we can start a relationship and start a conversation. So, of course, salespeople are also cold calling. They always have been, and they always will. They're using referral methods to get introduced to the people they need to know, which is working and has always worked very well, much better than cold outreach. But these events, whether they're trade shows or conferences or other specialized events, give us the rare opportunity to meet in person and really get to know each other. And further than that, it's so cost effective to have these live events, because if I have to call 1,000 people versus there's 1,000 people in one spot and I can mingle around and meet them, I get to go to one place and meet customers and prospects at the same time. So you can see how important these shows are for everyone who's trying to sell.
And it's not just the companies that are selling and buying. It's the Freemans that are setting up the draping. It's the janitorial staff. It's obviously the convention space. And I've never really thought about all the different companies that are engaged in putting on these conferences.
Oh my gosh. I mean, and just even think about the peripheral, the food, right? The videography, the telecommunications, the broadband, there are so many pieces to putting on these big shows. So again, that's why so many people are employed by this industry, right? And all of those people now don't have work as well. So it's a huge impact on the economy in so many ways, because there's so many peripheral companies that are impacted.
Well, the fact that there's over 200,000 unemployed people in Las Vegas right now is indicative of, Cirque du Soleil, go figure, just declared bankruptcy. You think of, I've been to a couple of the conventions where they do have entertainers, they have singers, they have all, like you said, the foods, the drinks.
Oh yeah, these big events also have a lot of entertainers, and there's just, there's so many things you don't even think about. The people who, like you said, set up the shows and all the booths, the people who sell everything to build a booth. So the whole exhibit industry, the people who build those beautiful booths, and the people who supply all the promotional goods, right, that you give out at the trade show. All of those people are
all the posters that you need to make. I remember we did a trade show. You helped me do a trade show for the baby fair for my business, and we got a big poster. So I paid Digiprint to do the posters.
The banners, the backgrounds, the tables, the chairs. Yeah, there are so many pieces. And again, the industry is out of work, but then it's having an impact because it's harder to sell right now. And so, for example, anybody who sells to the medical industry, they used to walk into the hospitals and talk to the hospital personnel. They can't do that anymore. And there's no trade show for them to attend. There's no conferences where they can put on a lunch and learn. So they don't have these live events. So what many companies have been doing is turning to virtual events. Now, it's not as good as live necessarily, but in some ways, surprisingly, it's better. So it has both sides to it. The virtual events, what's interesting about them is you have a little bit more control over what's happening, because it's very contained, right? And you can provide networking. There are many software companies that provide apps for your phone or apps online where you can actually meet the other people at the event through these apps and have conversations with them and network as you might in person. And you can arrange a video meeting with them, so you can actually see them and stuff like that. It's not the same as shaking hands and sitting down or having a cocktail or a lunch or something like that, but you can do it. And a lot of people who weren't traveling anyway can come, so they actually in some cases are getting more people at their events now that they're virtual. Because if you think about it, there's a lot of people who can't attend an event for various reasons. So when it's live, that cuts out a portion of the population. Having it virtual, they're having even more attendees.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tricky. The virtual events are awesome, but they're not inexpensive, because imagine it's the production quality that you have to present to make a really great online event that everybody's going to want to attend. And you've got to figure out a way for the exhibitors to show their wares online, and you've got to figure out a way for the people to network. So there's a lot of components to these virtual events.
Well, we're going to come back after a quick break, but I'm concerned about how these virtual events are going to really decimate the industry even more. So we'll be right back after this.
Safety. We all think about it. You think about it when he buckles in, when you check your mirrors and put away your phone. RTC thinks about safety too. In fact, we create it. Center turn lanes mean fewer blind spots. Bike lanes keep cyclists and you safe. Roundabouts reduce injury collisions, and all these crosswalks are designed to keep families like yours safe. Safety is your priority, and it's ours too. Every day, in everything we do.
Because of UMC, there's a wide open road ahead of me.
Because of UMC, she can grow up with her twin sister.
Because of UMC, I'm here to help you.
UMC, the highest level of care in Nevada.
Hi, I'm Eric Robnett, owner of Home Energy Experts. Has this ever happened to you?
Honey, did you remember to turn down the thermostat?
Forgetting to set the temperature? Not fun. We can help. Our new smart thermostat keeps the temperature set for your comfort all by itself.
I'm feeling hot now.
To increase your comfort, go to homeenergyexperts.com for details. That's homeenergyexperts.com.
The signs and symptoms of cataracts can start out small with subtle changes in your vision. So don't wait. Be proactive and take your vision into your own hands. If you're experiencing the onset of cataracts or just have questions, contact your eye care professional or call Eye Care Associates of Nevada today. Dr. Hiss has years of experience specializing in the surgical correction of eye disorders and has completed over 84,000 vision correcting procedures. At Eye Care Associates of Nevada, we'll change the way you look at the world.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And we're back on Nevada Newsmakers with Alice Heiman of the trade show Makeover. So you talked last segment about how they're adapting. I want to go further into how people are adapting. But what I'm concerned about is, as they're adapting, are we actually decimating potentially the trade industry, the Freemans and the people that make the banners and the setups and all that convention space that we have in Las Vegas? So as we adapt, are we going to actually kill the industry?
Well, the answer is no, we're not.
Good.
And so I want to put everybody at ease on that one. We are not going to kill the industry. There will never be a time when people don't want to gather in person and get together and get to know each other. I mean, people who go to conferences year after year after year, go to these same trade shows year after year, they have their friends, of the trade show, and they can't wait to see them again. So every year it's, oh, great, we're going to the show. Who are we going to see? They get their meetings set up, and people depend on that. That really human experience of being together.
We're social. We're naturally
people want
social.
to do it, and they're not going to stop doing it.
Yeah.
But we do need to, of course, proceed in a safe way. And we started having some of the states relax their rules and say yes, that we could start gathering in larger groups. And of course, now COVID's on the rise, and they're reconsidering that.
Are you really? So are you saying? Because it seems like some states did open up.
Some states did, and
Okay.
now they've changed their minds a bit.
Oh, boy. Okay.
But I will tell you this. The industry has put in very strict standards for how they're going to open their doors to these huge events.
Okay.
They have a lot of mechanisms in place to help with social distancing, to keep things clean. So they're taking this very seriously because they do want to be able to gather. So there's huge groups in the industry that are lobbying and studying and researching and making sure that when they do open the doors, it's going to be completely safe. But again, remembering that some people still won't come, so attendance is going to be down because there will be people who have travel bans and just people who flat out won't feel safe to attend. So what a lot of companies are doing is doing a hybrid event. So they will have a live event and have an amount of attendees that can be managed with the social distancing. And they'll also be streaming a lot of their sessions. They'll be doing a lot of video so that people can log in online and see what's going on at the conference. So that'll be a hybrid model. Now, some of the other events that are going on in line, right now they'll take care of the canceling of these in-person events and be in place of them for now. But everyone that I've talked to and everyone in the industry is saying that they will go back to live events as soon as it's safe for them to do so and as soon as they feel that it's financially,
yeah, this is a big investment.
Right, it's a big investment. And if your attendance is way down, that's going to be a problem. So they have to figure out the financial aspects of it as well. So the virtual events are filling in for now, and it's keeping their audience gathered around them, which is really important. They don't want to lose their audience. So when they go back live, they'll still be able to gather them. So right now, a lot of companies and big trade shows are doing a hybrid approach. It's all virtual for now, or it's small gathering and virtual together, so that hybrid. And I think that even when we go back to meeting in person, we're still going to have this hybrid approach because there will always be an audience who's willing to pay and to attend that can't fly for whatever reasons. And maybe it's just simply childcare.
Yeah.
So if we have that virtual component, I think it's going to make the shows even better.
So COVID could possibly be a blessing to this trade show industry by allowing more flexibility in actually attending versus participating online.
Well, I believe it's a blessing in many ways, even though financially right now it's very difficult.
Devastating, yeah.
But I think that it is a blessing because we can gather more people, absolutely, and do that hybrid approach. And I have seen companies in the trade show industry, especially exhibit houses, pivot to do new and innovative things that no one would have ever thought of. And they've done them so quickly that it's just astonishing. So where many of them would have just flat out gone out of business, they've done ingenious things. Like one of the exhibit companies I know started making products for the office to help with social distancing. I mean, think about it. They're used to putting up very sturdy and portable, right, spaces.
Right.
So what they've done is they thought about what could we put in an office space that's sturdy and portable that will help us keep people away from each other and do the social distancing. And they've come up with some very clever designs that are easy to ship. They're easy to put up once they arrive at your office space. So they've put themselves into business doing that.
Yeah.
Many of them have built all kinds of PPE, personal protection equipment, instead of building trade show booths.
See, there you go.
So
it's adapt or die at this point.
Right? And everybody always thinks that Darwin says survival of the fittest, but we know that it's not the smartest or the fittest. It's those who will adapt.
Yeah.
And I have seen amazing adaptations in this industry. Now, again, it's really hard for the performers, the entertainers, the workers, because they are just out of work.
Yeah.
But some of these companies have figured out great ways to keep people employed by doing something they would have never thought of otherwise.
Yeah.
So great innovation has come, even though this has been a terribly hard financial time for the industry.
Yeah. Well, we'll continue talking about that right after this.
Dimitri Prine here for Design Outdoor. Are you a homeowner who's interested in remodeling or building a home? At Design Outdoor, we can show you how adding natural or manufactured masonry stone can add beauty and value to your home. And we refer only the best contractors. Our store and backyard are located at 11600 South Virginia, just north of DeMonte Ranch Parkway. Visit designoutdoor.com or call us at 851-9499.
Hey guys, are you watching the game at a friend's or the bar again because you can't watch at home with your wife? Or worse, because she kicked you out and kept your couch, your flat screen, and your kids? What's the one thing a man needs when he loses a good woman? A good lawyer. And when he loses a bad woman, he needs a great lawyer. What makes a good woman a bad woman? You tell me. You're the one that can't watch the game in your own home. I'm men's rights attorney Marilyn York, and I represent men in divorce, custody, and family law matters.
Hi, I'm Dave Newman. Remember me? I used to be the house detective, and now I'm a realtor, full-time at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates. A lot of people ask me, how's the market? You know what? It's fantastic. If you're even kicking around the idea of buying or selling, give me a call. Let's talk about it. Call me at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates and just ask for the guy who used to be the house detective, Dave Newman.
Everyone is talking about opioids, but they're not the only drugs that can be harmful if taken in large quantities or not as prescribed. You also need to be aware of side effects from anxiety drugs, muscle relaxants, sleep aids, and stimulants. Mixing prescription drugs with other drugs or alcohol can be dangerous. If you take an Ambien with a glass of wine, it may be enough to stop you from breathing. Prescribed drugs can be just as dangerous as illegal drugs. Take medications only as directed.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And we're back on Nevada Newsmakers with Alice Heiman. So, along with trade shows, you're actually a sales consultant. And sales depend on leads, and salespeople go out and cold call, and they go out and meet people. What kind of advice are you giving people in a time of a virtual world? How do people go out and generate leads?
Right, so that's really important. And the reason I got into the trade show part of the business was simply because all of my clients were depending on leads from trade shows for their salespeople, and a lot of them were not utilizing the trade shows as well as they could have been to generate real high quality leads. So I learned, a long time ago what to do before, during, and after a trade show to make sure that the salespeople got high quality leads, people who really want to talk to them, who are interested. And so I developed a whole program around that, which is Trade Show Makeover. But I do spend most of my time talking with these closely held companies. I work with the CEOs and the sales leadership team on how they're going to organize sales and the strategies that they need to be successful. So without this flow of leads coming in from trade shows, we've had to get creative. Mm-hmm. Now, in many ways, the sales industry has changed over the years, but in many ways it hasn't. And buyers haven't really changed that much. They're more educated than they used to be because of the internet. There's so much more information available, and there's lots of competitors for the products that they want to purchase. So the buyers have gotten a bit smarter and a bit more educated, and that's what's forced the sales end of it to change. Salespeople have to approach things differently now. Mm-hmm. So in guiding them to do that, and in the midst of COVID, in the midst of no leads from trade shows, again, we've had to get really creative, and I think it's a good thing. Mm-hmm. So salespeople have had to sharpen their skills because they can't rely on the things that they used to do anymore. They've got to get better. They've got to know their customer better. They have to communicate with their customer in the way the customer wants to be communicated with. Mm-hmm. Now, the cold outreach does work, but it doesn't work as well. And so we've been doing things like putting on special events. I had one company who threw a wine tasting virtually. They had the wine shipped to their guests, and it arrived, and then they got online and they did the wine tasting together. So it was a fun event, but they also did a little bit of business at the same time. Mm-hmm. So that worked really well. So we're thinking of fun things like that to gather the audience that we want. I've also been training salespeople to use video. So if you get an email with a video in it, that's a lot better than just some words. Mm-hmm. And then to use the online tools like Zoom or GoToMeeting or any of the others where you can actually see the person that you're talking to and conduct your meetings with video. Those are the kinds of things that we're doing.
Well, the sales still have to continue even during a pandemic, right?
Yes, they do. Sales must go on. I always say your customers and prospects are depending on you.
Right. And it's got to be a challenge for these companies that are so used to a certain way. Have you lost clients? Have you seen businesses close down because they haven't been able to adapt?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Many of the companies in the industries that have been heavily impacted have been either reducing their staff greatly or closing down.
Yeah.
it's very sad. You know, companies that I've worked with for years. So even my business has been impacted because my customers who are in heavily impacted industries like the promotional goods industry, very heavily impacted.
Oh, I would think so. People, but yet we're also seeing people are learning to say, hey, now that your office is in your home, here's some ideas for how to make your home a little more office-y like, I would think.
So that's one of the companies that are in the promotional goods industry that have done really well. It's like Office in a Box. Let us help you ship these things to the home of your employees so they have them. I have a client in the telecommunications industry, and when everybody goes home, they need to take a phone with them. And it needs to still ring through a central number and get to them. So that industry is doing very, very well. So there are some industries that are doing well, and those who have adapted are doing really well.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be an interesting time, and I appreciate you being here, and I hope to come back in a couple of months and we can hear about how trade shows are actually up and running again.
That would be wonderful. I do hope that, you know, maybe in the fall we're going to actually start seeing some trade shows happening.
Well, thank you for joining us, and we'll be right back after this.
A bird's eye captures its surroundings at different heights. At Brian Culpa Photography, we can make your imagination soar over buildings, parks, cityscapes, and beyond. Brian's images tell the story and get the job done. If you need a new perspective to tell your story, contact Brian today. Brian Culpa Photography. Experience the bird's eye view at brianculpaphotography.com.
Hey, Dad? Are you learning? This place is great. Huh? You gotta try this.
Wow, this stuff is great. People are gonna love it.
Yes. Yes, they will.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Take a look at Pro Group Management and see how your workers' comp requirements can be met head-on. By taking a proactive approach, Pro Group can assure that your company is meeting or exceeding state and federal standards. As you move forward in your industry, Pro Group moves with you, simplifying regulatory tasks, clearing the way so you can get the job done and look to your future success. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Thank you for watching and listening to Nevada Newsmakers. You can check us out online at nevadanewsmakers.com as well as on YouTube. Thanks for watching.